Welcome to the AXA Engineers podcast, episode 1. Today we're doing a real deep dive. We're going to focus specifically on, the strategic advantages and the really profound impact you get when partnering with a leader in civil engineering outsourcing. And we're going to zero in on AXA Engineers today. Think of this as your essential shortcut. A way to really get under the hood and understand why AXA Engineers stands out, why they're such a trusted partner in what is, let's face it, an incredibly dynamic and complex world of civil engineering. We're not just skimming the surface here. We want to delve into the real substance of AXA Engineers' operations, their ethos, what really makes them tick, and crucially, why that should matter to you. We genuinely love hearing what you think, so after this deep dive, please do consider following the podcast for more insights into critical industry topics. And seriously, drop us your thoughts or any questions you might have about civil engineering outsourcing in the comments. We actually do read every single one.
That's right. And it's interesting because we're not just, looking at a company brochure here. We're really uncovering what looks like a very robust blueprint for success, sustained success in a sector that's, it's just full of complex challenges. It's not just about finding someone to do a job, a service provider. It's about identifying a true strategic ally, someone who really deeply understands the landscape of civil engineering outsourcing.
Absolutely. And when we talk about challenges, let's not just list them off. Let's try and feel the weight of them a bit, because anyone who's deeply involved in engineering in construction today, they're confronting these things head on. These aren't just like minor inconveniences. These are fundamental hurdles that can genuinely make or break a project, sometimes even a whole firm. So let's start with what feels like, almost a constant pain point across so many industries, but it feels particularly sharp in ours. The undeniable scarcity of high-quality engineering talent. It feels like it's more than just a global issue now. It's become a critical bottleneck, hasn't it? And we're not just talking about finding any engineers. We mean specialists. The senior structural engineers with that niche expertise in, say, seismic resilience for a high-rise in an active fault zone. Or maybe those highly specialized geotechnical engineers you absolutely need for complex, deep foundation work, especially on unstable ground. It could be the lack of BIM-proficient civil designers who can slot seamlessly into a multidisciplinary international team.
Or even lead engineers skilled in, parametric design for those really complex, architecturally driven structures. Finding them and then keeping them, these specific, highly skilled professionals, it's getting harder and harder. Like looking for a needle in a haystack, but the haystack keeps getting bigger and more complicated.
That's a really excellent point, the specialization aspect. This technical talent crunch, it's not just an HR headache, is it? It's a genuine strategic roadblock. It directly hits innovation, project feasibility. When a firm simply can't staff its most ambitious projects, or maybe the really niche ones, with the right level of specialized expertise, the consequences can be pretty significant. You see major project delays, or maybe the firm just can't even bid on certain high-value complex jobs. Sometimes it even leads to potential non-compliance issues if specific certification or local expertise are mandatory. It forces companies into tough choices. Compromise on innovative designs, accept much longer timelines, or watch costs just spiral as they desperately scramble for these scarce resources. And trying to upskill your existing team internally for really urgent projects, that's often just not practical or fast enough, which, really highlights why strategic decisions around civil engineering outsourcing become not just, relevant, but absolutely essential for many firms trying to stay competitive.
Yeah, essential is the right word. And that brings us perfectly to the second big challenge, that relentless pressure, the constant need to optimize operational costs, especially when almost everything seems to be getting more expensive. It feels like every single input, from basic materials like steel and concrete to energy costs, even the annual license renewals for that highly specialized design software. Things like advanced finite element analysis tools or those sophisticated hydrological modeling suites, it all just seems to be on an unstoppable upward climb. So companies are under immense pressure, right? Deliver projects efficiently, price them competitively, stay profitable, all while juggling these rising, often unpredictable costs. It's like this continuous high-stakes tightrope walk. One slip in budget management can be incredibly costly. It hits profit margin, sure, but also a firm's reputation. You really have to manage those budgets with, surgical precision.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, cost optimization in civil engineering and construction today, it's not really about just slashing budgets arbitrarily. It has to be about smart strategic resource allocation. The market demands competitive pricing, absolutely, but the projects themselves, their viability, demands robust financial health for the firm. Now, Traditional models, the ones that rely heavily on large, permanent in-house teams, they can really struggle with the scalability you need. Project demands fluctuate, right? And you don't want huge fixed overheads during the leaner times. This is precisely where strategic civil engineering outsourcing, when it's done thoughtfully, can be, well, transformative. It lets businesses convert a big chunk of their fixed cost structure into something more flexible, more variable. That gives you greater agility, much better financial control. And crucially, it lets firms focus their internal resources, their capital, on their core strengths, or maybe on those high-value client-facing activities, while leveraging external expertise for specialized tasks or just handling overflow work. It's smart resource management.
Exactly. Smart. And then there's the third universal pain point, the one that I think genuinely resonates with every single person listening who works in this industry: ensuring consistent, absolutely uncompromised project quality. We're talking about upholding exceptionally high standards, meeting client expectations that just seem to get more stringent all the time, and navigating these complex, constantly evolving regulatory requirements. And it's across incredibly diverse projects, too. One day, you might be deep in the design of a critical long-span cable-stayed bridge. The next, it's a cutting-edge wastewater treatment plant with really intricate chemical processes involved. And the day after that, maybe a high-rise building with complex geotechnical challenges in a difficult urban setting. Each project type has its own unique demands, its own specific regulatory frameworks. Think Eurocodes versus ASHO standards or specific local seismic building codes. And of course, each has its own distinct set of client expectations. In this line of work, the margin for error is, well, it's virtually zero. Even seemingly minor design flaws can have massive, often irreversible consequences. Safety, budget, reputation, it's all on the line.
And what's truly fascinating, or maybe challenging, is how these three huge issues, the talent scarcity, the pressure for cost optimization, and that non-negotiable demand for quality, they're rarely isolated problems. No, they're deeply interconnected. They weave together into this complex web that can really ensnare project managers and businesses. For example, a persistent lack of highly skilled talent that can directly lead to compromises in quality or maybe significant cost overruns because of inefficiencies or needing rework. On the flip side, maybe poor cost management forces regrettable compromises on essential quality control steps, or it hinders your ability to actually attract and keep that top-tier talent you need. This kind of systemic complexity is precisely why strategic decisions, particularly around engaging in civil engineering outsourcing, becomes so critical. It's not about finding a quick fix or a patch. It's about seeking a partner who not only deeply understands these interwoven pressures, but also possesses a proven, holistic approach to addressing them together, ensuring seamless project delivery and, mitigating those pervasive risks.
Okay, so let's really unpack this foundational understanding that AXA Engineers brings to the table, because this feels like where their approach really starts to differentiate them. The CEO explicitly said that AXA understands these pervasive concerns deeply because, and this is the key phrase, they've experienced and overcome them ourselves. And that's a really powerful statement, isn't it? It suggests it's not just, theoretical knowledge from reading industry reports. It's insight born from actual hard-won lived experience, being in the trenches. Can you give us maybe a tangible example? How does that profound empathy, that practical expertise, translate into a real advantage for a client using their civil engineering outsourcing services? How did that lived experience make their solution better?
Oh, absolutely. This is where it becomes really practical. Let's imagine a client, okay? They're grappling with a particularly tricky aspect of a project. Say, coordinating a highly specialized structural design team, maybe based overseas, with a local civil engineering team on the ground. They're across different time zones, battling a fiercely tight deadline, and they have to navigate very specific national building codes. Now, a lot of civil engineering outsourcing providers might just offer to, supply engineers for the project, standard stuff. But AXA engineers, because they've likely faced similar internal bottlenecks themselves, maybe wrestled with cross-border coordination challenges in their own growth. They approach it differently. Their lived experience likely means they've already developed, say, proprietary internal protocols for seamless BIM model sharing that can bridge different software versions or platforms, or perhaps they've refined a unique project management framework that anticipates and preemptively addresses common cross-cultural communication gaps. Things they learned the hard way. So they're not just throwing more engineers at the problem. They're offering a kind of battle-tested blueprint for efficient, integrated workflows. Their empathy comes from having already solved the very problems their clients might just be encountering now. This provides not just a service, but genuinely a seasoned, practical methodology that's been forged in experience. And that builds inherent trust, really, before a single drawing is even started.
That's a perfect segue, actually, into what really cements that trust and demonstrates their internal strength. This incredible recognition AXA Engineers recently received as a great place to work. And they weren't just, on a list somewhere. They were singled out as the top 1 best workplace in Vietnam in the small category. That's huge. And as they said, this isn't just a shiny symbol to hang on the wall. It's proof. Proof of a dedicated journey, a dream that's been steadily, relentlessly pursued and achieved through the collective, unwavering effort of their entire team. They've diligently built this, grown it, faced all sorts of difficulties, apparently all with this one shared goal, delivering the best possible value to their clients. And let's be honest, in our industry, civil engineering outsourcing, where precision, seamless collaboration, and consistent quality are absolutely everything, a truly happy, engaged team almost invariably translates into exceptionally happy clients. It just makes sense. It's like the engine driving the excellence.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, that great place to work environment, it directly impacts service quality in really profound, tangible ways, especially for a civil engineering outsourcing partner. Just imagine a team where people don't just feel valued, but they're also being continuously trained, professionally developed, genuinely empowered to make decisions and contribute. That internal harmony, that sense of shared purpose and belonging, it creates the very bedrock for delivering superior engineering solutions. It's not just soft stuff. It translates directly into things like lower employee turnover, which means clients get more consistent project teams working on their jobs, deeper institutional knowledge gets applied to the designs, and ultimately fewer errors, less rework. An environment like that inherently minimizes project risk, and it significantly boosts a firm's ability to tackle those really complex, high-stakes project demands, which is exactly what discerning clients are looking for in a truly reliable civil engineering outsourcing partner. It becomes this powerful virtuous cycle, doesn't it? You invest deeply in your people, and they, in turn, deliver unparalleled excellence back to your clients.
Okay, and here's where it gets really interesting for you, the potential client listening. How does this recognition actually resonate beyond just internal pride for AXA Engineers? Because it's clearly more than just a pat on the back. The CEO described it as a tremendous encouragement validating the collective efforts, also a great honor, and a testament to countless hours of unwavering effort navigating many hurdles. But crucially, he also called it a valuable affirmation of their consistent striving to bring increasingly better value to clients. So translating that, in practical terms, what does this award actually signal to a company like yours, maybe exploring options for a high-performing civil engineering outsourcing partner?
Right. Well, this award, it really goes beyond just employee satisfaction surveys. It acts as a robust, externally validated commitment to the quality of service they provide. For potential clients considering civil engineering outsourcing, it sends a very clear message. AXA Engineers' operational excellence, their ethical backbone. These aren't just internal claims they're making. They're demonstrably validated by an independent, reputable, third-party great place to work. Now, in a field like ours, where precision, absolute reliability, and building long-term partnerships are so paramount, having an objective endorsement like this offers a uniquely compelling reason for trust. It's basically an assurance that the very foundation upon which their services are built is stable, it's high-performing, and it actively fosters continuous innovation. All of that directly translates into minimized risk and maximized value for you, the client. You could almost see it as a form of pre-vetting, an assurance of their operational integrity and their commitment to consistently high standards before you even sign a contract.
And what really stands out, I think, is that AXA Engineers doesn't seem to view this success as something they achieved in a vacuum. The CEO expressed the deepest gratitude, his words, to all clients, the strategic partners, the wider community. He emphatically stated, "We wouldn't have achieved these results without your trust and support," and really underscored that client confidence has been the greatest driving force behind AXA Engineers' entire journey. Now, that doesn't feel like just polite corporate speak, does it? It genuinely sounds like a core belief, something deeply embedded in their organizational DNA.
Yeah, what's absolutely fascinating there is that explicit acknowledgement. Client confidence isn't just seen as a lucky outcome of their success. It is, in fact, positioned as the very engine that drives it. This kind of reciprocal relationship, this loop between client trust and internal operational excellence, it's critically important, especially in high-stakes, highly collaborative fields like civil engineering outsourcing. It really speaks to a mature, deeply client-centric approach, one where feedback is clearly valued and partnerships are genuinely seen as collaborative efforts. When a company says out loud that client confidence is its greatest driving force, it implies they are inherently committed to continuously listening, proactively adapting, and consistently striving to not just meet, but actually exceed expectations. It ensures the partnership isn't merely transactional, it becomes truly collaborative, mutually beneficial. AXA Engineers' growth is intrinsically directly tied to the ongoing success of their clients. That's a powerful dynamic.
So after hearing all that, what does it truly boil down to for you, our listener, especially if you're actively considering civil engineering outsourcing for maybe your next big project or even ongoing needs? Well, it means taking a moment to understand AXA Engineers' X5-pointed STAR mission. Now, this isn't just some clever branding exercise, a catchy phrase. They describe these as the deeply ingrained core values that literally guide every decision, every project, and every interaction within the company. It's their operational compass, making sure every action aligns with a bigger purpose. But before we dive into each point at the start, can you explain what that X5-pointed part signifies? Is it like a framework they developed? Does it symbolize a multifaceted approach?
That's an excellent question, and yeah, it's absolutely central to their identity. The X5-pointed concept, it is indeed more than just a catchy name. It represents 5 distinct yet profoundly interconnected pillars, like the points of a star, as you said. Each one is essential, and they all reinforce each other. It represents their holistic commitment, making sure their efforts encompass not just their clients, but also their own employees, their partners, the broader community, and, crucially, the environment nature itself. This integrated framework ensures that no single value gets prioritized at the expense of another. It creates a really balanced, sustainable operational philosophy. It serves as their unique internal compass. It ensures every strategic decision, every design choice, every operational process is aligned with this comprehensive and, frankly, very thoughtful vision. It gives them a coherent ethical backbone that runs through every single facet of their civil engineering outsourcing work.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's break down the first point of that X5-pointed STAR mission then. Value for clients, empowering global solutions.
Right.
AXA Engineers states they are dedicated to providing high-quality engineering solutions and designs. Standard enough, maybe, but they go further, emphasizing how they empower clients globally to solve complex problems and build sustainable infrastructure. The ultimate goal here seems clear, shaping the world with tangible value, one meticulously crafted project at a time. It makes me think of, like a master craftsman building an enduring legacy, focusing on every perfect, resilient detail. That feels like the meticulous, long-term, impact-focused approach AXA Engineers aims to bring to every aspect of civil engineering outsourcing. But what does that tangible value actually look like in practice for a client?
Right. This point really highlights that AXA Engineers sees their role as going far beyond just, drafting plans or executing instructions given to them. It's about providing strategic solutions that genuinely enable clients to overcome significant barriers they might be facing, maybe accelerate their development timelines, and contribute to infrastructure that's resilient, long-lasting, and often quite cutting edge. So for a client, this means you get a partner who doesn't just tick boxes, but actively contributes to your overarching vision and helps solve your most critical problems. For instance, those complex problems they mentioned. That might involve things like optimizing material use for a high-rise structure in an area with extreme seismic activity, or designing climate-resilient coastal defenses that can withstand rising sea levels and more intense storm surges. It could be developing smart transportation networks aimed at reducing congestion and cutting carbon emissions, or creating innovative water resource management systems for rapidly growing cities. AXA's expertise in these areas, cultivated through their civil engineering outsourcing services, lets clients tackle challenges that might have seemed insurmountable before, knowing they have a partner committed to delivering not just a design, but a durable, sustainable solution that really considers future impacts. This holistic view genuinely makes civil engineering outsourcing with AXA Engineers feel like a true partnership aimed at global progress, not just project completion.
Okay, moving to the second point of the STAR, which seems so critical given their great place to work status. Value for company and employees, cultivating internal strength for external service. This point really powerfully reinforces their commitment to their own team, doesn't it? It's about building a stronger AXA where talented engineers find a stable work environment and opportunities for long-term growth. They genuinely seem to believe that our growth creates more opportunities fostering team success and elevating service quality for everyone. It really does sound like that virtuous cycle we talked about. Valued, growing engineers lead to consistently excellent delivery in civil engineering outsourcing. But how do they actually achieve that in such a competitive market for engineering talent? What specific things are they doing beyond just saying we invest in our people?
That's a really crucial question because in this perpetually talent-scarce market we're in, how a company attracts, and maybe more importantly, retains the very best talent that's often the ultimate differentiator, isn't it? AXA Engineers, it seems, doesn't just pay lip service to employee well-being. That great place to work status has to be earned through concrete actions. So they likely offer things like tailored, specialized training programs, keeping their engineers right at the forefront of evolving technologies, like advanced BIM applications or new sustainable design software. They probably implement robust mentorship programs, ensuring knowledge gets transferred effectively and skills are continuously developed. Beyond just competitive salaries, they likely focus on comprehensive wellness initiatives, maybe flexible work arrangements where possible, and importantly, clear, defined career paths. Paths that foster genuine long-term growth and give people a sense of purpose in their work. This internal strength, built this way, directly translates into the consistent, high-caliber talent that clients rightly expect from a premier civil engineering outsourcing partner. When employees feel genuinely invested in, they are inherently more engaged. They tend to be more innovative in how they solve problems, and they're more committed to delivering exceptionally high-quality work. Plus, that stability within their engineering teams significantly reduces project risks for clients. It ensures crucial continuity of knowledge throughout a project's lifecycle, and it cultivates this palpable culture of excellence that you can probably see in every single deliverable they produce. It's not just an overhead cost, it's a strategic investment in human capital that pays huge dividends directly back to their clients.
Now, their third value for partners, really underscores integrity and the importance they place on building a collaborative ecosystem. They highlight operating with the highest professionalism, and this is crucial, using only licensed software. That specific detail about licensed software, that's absolutely non-negotiable for trust and regulatory compliance in civil engineering outsourcing, isn't it? Just fundamental.
It's absolutely fundamental, no question.
And beyond that, they talk about actively building strong, sustainable collaborations with universities and suppliers. They emphasize that your trust in our integrity and reliability strengthens these invaluable relationships. So it feels like it's not just about what AXA Engineers does, but profoundly about how they do it and who they choose to do it with, meticulously building this robust network of trust that ultimately benefits every single civil engineering outsourcing project they touch.
Yeah, and if we connect that to the bigger picture again, having a robust, ethical, and broadly collaborative partner ecosystem, that translates directly into significantly fewer headaches and far greater assurance for the client. Knowing your civil engineering outsourcing partner uses only licensed software, as you said, is just baseline. It's not just about avoiding legal trouble. It's about ensuring data security, guaranteeing access to the latest software features and security patches, and avoiding potential project delays or quality issues that can crop up from using outdated or, worse, illicit tools. It also protects the client's own intellectual property, which is vital. Furthermore, having strong ties with leading universities means AXA Engineers potentially has direct access to cutting-edge research, emerging talent pipelines, and innovative methodologies that can be quickly integrated into client projects. That keeps their solutions fresh and at the forefront of the industry. And at the same time, reliable supplier relationships ensure the quality and timely delivery of all necessary inputs and materials, which is obviously vital for any construction or design project. This whole comprehensive network, seemingly built meticulously on integrity and mutual respect, ensures that AXA Engineers can consistently deliver solutions that are cutting-edge, fully compliant, and exceptionally reliable. It really reinforces their role as a truly dependable partner who clearly prioritizes long-term shared success over any short-term gains.
Okay, the fourth point of their mission, value for community and country. This one really highlights AXA Engineers' broader vision. It seems to extend far beyond just the typical corporate bottom line. It's about achieving their founding vision of creating stable employment for thousands of Vietnamese engineers in the future. That's quite an ambition. They also mention contributing meaningfully to the national budget and actively engaging in meaningful humanitarian activities. And maybe most powerfully, they talk about proudly asserting the capability and intellect of Vietnamese engineers on the global stage. This feels like it's not just about running a successful business. It's about building a lasting legacy and having a profound impact on a nation. It really demonstrates the depth of commitment AXA Engineers has, way beyond just the P&L of civil engineering outsourcing. What does that kind of national focus mean for a potential global client, though?
Well, that raises a really important question for many clients today, doesn't it? When you choose your civil engineering outsourcing partner, are you just buying a service? Or are you, in effect, investing in a broader positive societal impact? AXA Engineers clearly demonstrates a very profound, active commitment to societal value. That ambitious vision, creating stable employment for potentially thousands of engineers, it speaks volumes about a deep, long-term investment in human capital development within Vietnam, fostering economic growth, stability, their contributions to the national budget, their engagement in tangible humanitarian activities, which, might include providing essential infrastructure for underserved communities, or perhaps leveraging their engineering skills in disaster relief efforts. These are clear expressions of robust corporate social responsibility, or CSR. For clients, partnering with a company that exhibits such a clear and positive national impact can actually be a significant aligning factor. It can enhance their own corporate values, strengthen the ethical profile of their entire supply chain. It really transforms what could be seen as a purely business decision into a powerful partnership with a purpose that resonates far beyond just getting the project completed on time and on budget.
And that leads us to the fifth and arguably increasingly critical point of their X5-pointed STAR mission: value for nature and Mother Earth. Sustainable engineering practices. They state they're consistently committed to environmental initiatives. And importantly, it seems this isn't just, lip service or a trendy slogan added on. They say this commitment starts right inside their own walls by fostering environmental awareness within our offices, practicing diligent paper conservation, and meticulously sorting waste. Basic but important foundations. But then it extends much more powerfully beyond those internal habits to actively incorporating green design standards into our projects and also actively supporting nature conservation efforts. So it sounds like they're genuinely trying to live these values every single day, integrating them right into their core operations. This deep-seated commitment feels absolutely crucial for modern civil engineering outsourcing projects, where environmental responsibility isn't just paramount anymore, it's often a strict regulatory and ethical must-have.
Exactly. And what's truly fascinating here is how that genuine commitment to sustainability seems to permeate every single level of AXA Engineers' operations. From those seemingly small office habits right through to the fundamental design principles guiding their most complex engineering projects. That kind of holistic approach signals a deep-seated belief in comprehensive environmental stewardship. It's not just a perfunctory box-ticking exercise to meet minimum compliance. For clients, this translates directly into having a civil engineering outsourcing partner who is inherently aligned with global environmental best practices and often ambitious sustainability goals. It allows clients to more confidently meet their own environmental targets, whether that involves achieving specific green building certifications like LEED or BREEAM, or maybe aiming for significantly reduced carbon footprints in their infrastructure developments. It also implies AXA engineers can proactively integrate innovative green design standards. Things like passive cooling systems, rainwater harvesting techniques, comprehensive material lifecycle assessments, or maybe integrating renewable energy solutions right into the designs. And by actively supporting nature conservation efforts, they also signal that projects aren't just built, but built with a mindful consideration for the surrounding ecological landscape, ultimately contributing to a healthier planet and ensuring projects are truly designed with future generations in mind. In today's world, where environmental impact is under constant scrutiny and public awareness is so high, partnering such a consciously responsible organization is, well, it's an undeniable and significant strategic advantage.
So let's circle back then. How does this prestigious Great Place to Work award actually fuel AXA Engineers' future path? The CEO clearly stated it's the clearest proof that the path we're on is the right one. It doesn't sound like they see it as an endpoint, but more like validation. It's not about resting on their laurels, is it? It seems to be about leveraging and building on these incredibly positive achievements, using them as a strong foundation for us to keep growing, innovating, and reaching even bigger successes. The dynamism you need to stay right at the forefront of civil engineering outsourcing is just immense. You have to constantly adapt, constantly evolve, so this recognition must genuinely validate their strategic choices, proving that their internal focus really does drive external excellence.
Precisely. This recognition, it isn't merely about celebrating what they've done in the past. It acts as a powerful strategic declaration of their commitment to continuous improvement and relentless innovation moving forward. For clients, that's a profound promise. It's an assurance that their civil engineering outsourcing partner is dedicated to continuously evolving and excelling. In this rapidly changing engineering landscape wherein new technologies, new materials, new methodologies emerging all the time, complacency is really the enemy of progress, isn't it? AXA Engineers' commitment to continuous learning and growth, which is now powerfully reinforced by this external validation, ensures they remain at the absolute cutting edge. consistently delivering advanced, future-proof solutions and proactively adapting to whatever emerging challenges come next. It means their value proposition to clients should only strengthen over time, providing increasing expertise and efficiency. It's basically an assurance that your investment in partnering with them is an investment in a future-ready collaboration.
And this unwavering commitment, this blend we've discussed of internal excellence being a great place to work and external purpose through their mission, it all seems to culminate in their fundamental promise to be your most reliable engineering partner. That doesn't sound like just a tagline. It feels like it's about delivering excellence through a team that is truly passionate and empowered. It seems abundantly clear that their thriving internal culture directly, intrinsically translates into the exceptional quality of service and the genuine partnership feel they provide. It's that fusion that makes them so compelling, I think.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here is exactly that, the seamless fusion. On one hand, internal excellence, the proven fact that they are a genuinely great workplace where people are passionate, they feel empowered, they thrive. On the other hand, the external commitment, being an undeniably reliable engineering partner for their clients. This synergy is precisely what makes AXA Engineers such a uniquely compelling choice for civil engineering outsourcing. It's not just about having the raw technical capability, which they clearly possess in abundance. It's about having a deeply motivated, exceptionally supported workforce that is intrinsically driven to deliver outstanding results. Not just because it's their job, but because it seems to be their passion. And that rare combination, world-class skill, coupled with profound passion, that's a powerful differentiator. It ensures high-quality, consistent, and genuinely innovative solutions for their clients, project after project after project.
So wrapping this all up, what does this deep dive mean for you, the listener? Especially thinking about your next big project, your ongoing needs in civil engineering outsourcing. Well, AXA Engineers extends a very direct, compelling invitation. They invite you to continue this journey with them, to explore precisely how AXA Engineers can help you not just overcome your toughest challenges, but actually achieve your project goals more efficiently, perhaps more sustainably, and with greater overall impact. In a world that is increasingly demanding sustainable infrastructure, truly innovative solutions, and partnerships that are built on absolute, unwavering trust. The question maybe isn't just if you need a civil engineering outsourcing partner anymore. Perhaps the truly profound question for modern leaders, for anyone driving major projects today, is this: how quickly can you partner with the very best to transform your most ambitious vision into a tangible, resilient, and truly remarkable reality? We really hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights into AXA Engineers and the landscape of civil engineering outsourcing. Be sure to follow the deep dive for more insightful explorations into critical industry topics. And please, do let us know your thoughts or any questions you have in the comments section below. We look forward to hearing from you.